Hey guys, Kev here, and thanks to Michael Martin for sending in the American Blade Works Model 2, and I decided I'm going to take this puppy apart. So I did talk to him, I gave him some feedback, and told him I really like the model, and etc. I'm going to pass it around, but he said I could, hang on to it after, so we'll see what happens as it goes around, but I wanted to take it apart, see inside, just kind of see what's going on, and yeah. So this is the American Blade Works Model 2. If you saw the unboxing, you'll know I really like this model. It's very comfortable in the hand. It's got really cool milling all over. The blade finish is very interesting. It's a stonewash over this sort of horizontal machine lines. I don't know. It's interesting. The detent is not strong, but it has a snap to it when you give it a nice push button. So I've gotten used to it, and I actually quite like it, enjoy it. It doesn't tear up your finger at all, and works great. It has a late detent, that's one thing. It does not break till right there it comes past, so very late for a knife with a flipper because it makes it difficult to get past. We'll see how that smooths out. But there's that, and it's a little heavy. But those are the really the only two gripes I have. I really like it. The action is super smooth, buttery. So let's see inside, and we'll go from there. It looks like a T15 on our pivot, so let me grab the T15. Looks like steel. Okay, it's coming right out. Seems to be captive. You never know with these USA-made knives. They kind of... He's a machinist, so he's making it up as he goes, right? I got my MBK driver. I'm going to grab one other one here. I just happen to have the Get Good screw right here. So it's looking like T8 down here. Probably need to swap these bits out soon. Okay, what? No way, those do not look like T6s. What do I have here? T8. No way. I don't think he would do that. I think it's... Is it a T7? Let me try another T8. I cannot get my T8 in there. So she said. That is interesting. So it's a T7? I don't even know. Try to find one. Oh, there. T7. All right. Let's see if that's right. Yeah. It's a T7. Interesting choice. Oh, I might not need to take this off. We'll see. We'll check that. I've never had a knife with a T7 on it. Interesting. Okay. I mean, it's not a big deal, but a lot of people aren't going to have that. Whoa. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Oh, okay. I thought we were working with Delrins. We got steel bearing. So the cage is steel. The bearings are ceramic. Interesting choice. I mean... Not a huge deal or anything. It's just interesting. We'll check that size and we'll try to swap those out if we can for skifferoonies. Just did a different disassembly, so I'm gonna just keep this. I think I got alcohol on here already. Now I can see that detent ramp, and that's the thing I take a little bit of issue with is this detent ramp. So let's clean this and we can talk about it. So you'll see it looks like this has been hardness punched, which is cool. So I should ask what the HRC is. I'm sure it's good. Here is the ramp. There is something going on there. I don't know what that is. Interesting. Huh. Never seen anything like that. I've seen ramps, but that doesn't necessarily look like a ramp. It's got some good tension on it already, so I don't know if I want to go and bend this sucker in, but just give it a little bit. Oops, okay. Or a lot. We'll see what happens. Stop pin. So real quick, let me get the old thumbnail pick. Take the scales like this and this. You got the liner there, and then we'll put the pivot. Get out of here, son. Stop pin, pivot screw, bearings, and of course the body screws that we have out, like so. And then we can grab a pick of that. All right. Slide that up. All right, so now we have the fun part, looking around. So we have, I love to see just freshly machined titanium. It's just so cool. I love the companies that don't like finish it after. You don't need to, like, it just looks so good. Backspacers nice and tightened on there, screwed in, not barrels. And this is where I was talking to him about weight relief. I think you could just take chunks out here. Just put big circles in here, and that'll remove a ton of weight. I don't know if you could fit many in here, but what I would do, this is steel, right? What I would do is get rid of this liner. I'm not quite sure why he needs this. Oh, to fit the stop pin, and yeah, you'd have to redesign it, I guess, to just have a flat slab over here. I would prefer that, just have the slab on this side. But if not, just put some big old weight relief circles over here, and that should help a lot. Because, yeah, this is really light. But then you add, you know, this to it, and it, you know, it's going to mount up. Mount up. So the clip screws actually go right into the tie, which is cool. Everything else goes into the steel. So the other thing I was saying in the unboxing is you could, essentially you could just cut this, just have this bottom part and the lock bar be a liner, basically a nested lock. And then all of this part could just be, you know, into the titanium. I know that makes it harder, and I'm not a machinist, but, you know, and then you just take this and you screw it in right here. Or from this side, under the clip, you could have the two screws and you wouldn't even see it. But I know that's a whole redesign and maybe not even possible, so I'm going to shut up about it. Just the ideas that come through my mind. All right, let's see what we have in terms of, we've looked at everything. See what bearings we're rocking with. So my guess is 1/4 inch 1/16, and I should have some of those. I might even have multi-rows. Let's see. So 1/4 inch is my guess. Drops right in. 6mm does not fit. So it is a 1/4 inch pivot, and then the bearings are going to be 1/16. Drops right in. We'll check the 3/64. Does not fit. So we have 1/4 inch 1/16. Let's see what we got. I do have Delrins in that size, I think, as well, but I'm a Skiff guy, so let's see. 5mm, 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 5mm. These are 3/64 though. 6mm, 3/16. What is this? 5mm multi-row, 1/4 inch 1mm, 5mm washer, 6mm. 1/16, tiny ass bearing, 1/4 inch 1/16. There we go. So I don't have multi-rows in that size. They're all 6mm. I might have, I may have Delrins in this size, but I think we should go with the Skiffs. And we'll go from there. Let me just make sure I put all my 5mm at the right top. 5mm, 5mm, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So So I have 5 sets left. Looks like 5 left. Okay. Good to know because I go through those like hotcakes. All right, so let's take out a set. Looks like I have 2 sets, one newer and one older. Let's just go with the newer one. Well, do these work is the question. Yes. Yes. Okay, we'll just go with that. Well, these feel a little bit smoother, so let's just go with that. I can always clean these later. I've had these forever. Like, this is one of the first sets of skiffs I bought. I think I put them in my Rosie when I first got the Rosie. Alright. Now we see if they fit. So obviously the pocket has to work. Yep, pocket works. Now he made the pocket probably bigger for these, but that should, no, same amount, so we're good. All right, so then we figure the pivot goes in here. Very nice pivot, I like that a lot. Let's see if she needs a cleaning. We'll take our, oh good, careful. Take our driver, put it in there. Usually the bit that goes for the Torx head is going to be the right size to pop in there and clean stuff. Yep. Pops in, turn it the right direction, and boom, we are good to go. So we'll have to see how the liner works out because I did obviously tweak that. And if I went too far, I got to bring it back. And, you know, that's on me if something gets screwed up. But I was hoping to get a little more pop out of that detent. Now, a lot of it is going to have to do with the fact that we have a little bit of a small detent hole and a small detent ball. So it's, you know, just how it goes. And you can see the detent ball location is different than I think a lot of knives. It's like in the center of the lock bar there. I think a lot of times it's up here in the corner, and that's how you get a you know, not such a late detent. You get an earlier detent that way. So there's really no way to fix the late detent. I mean, he has to make a design choice if he wants to. I have said enough about it, so everybody knows my stance on it. But I do think on a flipper knife, you know, it just makes the most sense to have an early detent because you get hit with a flipper tab, and if that detent isn't past you already, you end up doing the double clutch, where on a whole knife, the detent can be later because usually it just swings down anyway. So let's see how we did here, guys. Oh, I didn't put any. Then you can see that detent track is still working its way in, which tells me, I think, that this Magna Cut is pretty hard. If your detent track isn't pronounced after flicking it 50 times, you know, could try it. It's not a tiny ball, actually. It just doesn't stick out a ton. I could try sticking that out a little more, too. That might help with the detent strength. Let's see if we can. Nope, that's not what we wanted. So it looks like I'm going to have to just screw it in, right? Because I think, well, I'll show you what I mean. Because it looks like the backspacer screws are just going into the backspacer. There's nothing they pop onto, so I have to just drive one in, I think, to seat it. Weird. It's hard to see at the angle I'm at. Let's see if I can get that one in. Yes, that one went in. Okay, so. Oh shit. Okay. Let's see if I can't get this in. Now it's going in. All right, cool. Okay, we are mostly centered. Pretty good. Let's just see. Yeah, now we're popping a little better, but the lock bar you can see is all the way on there, and there's not enough access here for me to get a good grip on it. And then it pushes that detemp ball over even further, so yeah, that is just not a good idea. So let me do this. We have to bring that back a bit. I didn't even think I bent it really. It moved real easy, so it's pretty flexible. So I'm hoping I can just bring it back pretty easy. I kind of have an idea where it was. This is going to be a little bit of a game of, you know, figuring that out. So I just have to get this off here. I think the skiffs are okay. They, there we go. The centering, we'll have to see. I think maybe the detent was playing a part there. So we came out pretty far here, but it was already pretty far. So I think we just have to bring it back a little bit. Try that. That's pretty good, I think. See how easy that bends? Like, that's insane. I'm barely trying to do anything, and it's just flopping there. So I don't know if that's just because this is so long or if it's soft steel. I think it might be softer on the steel, but I don't know. See how we do now. Trying to be relatively not crazy about it. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, definitely better to seat this first. It'd be nice if there was like a something that mounted the liner to the outside so I could tighten that in and then place it all on, but that's not the case here, so could do it this way, which doesn't seem too difficult, honestly, except for that part. Still a little bit too far, I think. Well, let me just... Yeah. There's a balance. Sometimes the way a detent hole and a detent ball are set up, you can put more pressure on it. It doesn't do anything. It just adds more pressure to the lock bar, makes it more difficult to disengage, but it doesn't actually make the detent any better. I think that's what we're working with here. This is gonna pop off again and go crazy. Okay, calm down, calm down. Look at that. What is locked? Oh, the stop pin's just locked into this sucker. There we go. All right, let's try this one more time. So here we are. We're going to come down to here, or try. So that's about right. This is the downside to trying to tune your detent, folks. You can fuck shit up. You just gotta take your time, not go too crazy, you know. I honestly didn't expect it to move as far as it did, as quickly as it did, so that's on me for not being a little more gentle at first. Okay, it's feeling a little smoother. There we go. Yeah. It's about how it was, right? I mean, the difference I can feel is on the lock bar. It's now much easier to push out of the way. Trying to just make sure it feels the way it did. Where's my finger? Yeah, it feels pretty damn close. I think it's basically dead on. I kind of want to try to add a pinch, but I also don't want to make it back to the way it was there. Let's give it one more adjustment, see if I can't just dial it up a touch. This is where knowing what to do with like a Dremel would come in handy for me, I think. People who know how to make a detent hole a little bigger or do that kind of stuff probably comes in handy here. You'd probably need a new detent ball, but, you know. All right, so here we are right here. We are coming in right under my nail, so I'm going to try to get it to just be in my nail, if that's possible, like that. Yeah, like that. See if that does it. And we may end up going right back to the way it just was, but hey, what are you going to do? Trying to find a balance between, hold on, I want it to be shut. Trying to find a balance between detent and lock bar tension. Because that is the name of the game on this one. Centering's good. Oh yeah, did I do it? I think I did it. Oh yeah, baby. Yeah, that's the sweet spot, baby. I mean, it's still not, you can see, but it's a little better. It doesn't just flop out. It pops a little out, and then you just push it a little. And it's still got a soft enough lock bar that it's not uncomfortable to get out of the way. Swings down. Pop it past and shake. Yeah. Good. Cool. That was an adventure, but we have landed in the right spot. Tighten this, Tighten that. Tighten that. Centering is now dead on too. Now comes the part where we glue it. Tighten that down all the way. No play at all. That's with no play. Look at that. Very good. Okay, so I just killed my last one, so here we go. So basically, we want to pop this guy. Can you use this? Or do you use this? I always forget. I think you just tighten it down and it pops, right? Nope, there it goes. Okay. So here's how I do it. We want to be gentle, right? We don't want to go crazy. So first we check, we take the screw out. Okay. Pivot screw is out. Everything's just the way it is. We put it back in. Tighten it down. Tight. We check. Centering's good. We flip it. No play. No rock. Disengage it. Action smooth. Can we back it off a little? We can back it off a little. Still centered. Still no play. So, I think we're safe to go. So what we do is take this guy out, set that down safely, clean our pivot screw. By the way, all this stuff is available at knifepivotlube.com. Use code LeftyEDC. Look at all that schmutz on there. Except the glue. They don't sell glue, but they sell these and the lubes and everything I showed you. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit here. Just a little. Put that on there. And then I'm going to drop that into the threads in here. Then I'm going to take a little bit more. Just put a touch on our screw. And then I'm going to drive our screw in quickly so it doesn't lock tight while I'm doing this. Check it. Centered. No play. And we got the action. So we're good. Then we take this and we put the cap on gently. Don't over tighten so we don't glue the cap or whatever. Then we can let this sit for a second while we clean up. Put our bit driver away. This is the MBK brass bit driver. They're going to be selling these soon for $100. USA made. Cool materials. I think they're going to try to do other materials. This is brass, obviously. So if you get the stinky hands like I do, maybe it's not for you. And they're doing different patterns on the knurling, which is cool. Put this away. And of course you have the Get Good screwdriver. You can get on their website. Always linked down below. Use code LeftyEDC. Uh-oh. Damn. T7 got stuck. That's the one takeaway from this video, guys. This uses a T7 on the driver, or on the hardware. The pivot is a T15. Everything else is a T7. Let's just check these while we're here. Make sure it's all tight. Probably didn't need the Loctite. It felt like a pretty good captive system, but I'm just a Loctite guy. I don't want to ever have to have my pivot come loose while I'm carrying it. And I'm a fidget guy, you know? So when you're a fidget guy, what happens? Well, you fidget, and then your knife loosens up real quick because you fidget a lot, you know? I think with this one, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put the bearings in the pouch because they came with the knife, and I don't know, maybe it just makes sense. Actually, I don't want to confuse people, so I'm going to leave it out. But it comes with steel caged ceramic bearings, if anybody's curious. I'll put these in here, and eventually I will donate these to a good home. So, what do you guys think about the Model 2? I think it's awesome. I am very, very happy to see a USA-made knife like this. You know, Michael cares about what we think as a community, and he takes that into consideration. So you have Magna Cut on here. I bet you it's heat treated really well. You get nice milled titanium. You get a nice flipper tab. And I bet you the price point, I haven't looked, isn't shabby, you know. It has a Holt vibe to it. And somebody else mentioned Herman knives. It does have that vibe too. Now, I would say quality-wise on, you know, the action and the machining and everything, it's not quite up to those two. But the price point is probably way more than half the price. You know, I'm betting this is somewhere around $300 if I had to guess. You know, $350, even $400. This is well within reason. The quality is very good. I just would love to see an update to the detent. Maybe try to use a bigger detent ball, see if that works, because I can tell from what we just did, the reason why this detent is not snappier is because they probably did what I did, right? They added pressure to see if that would add a snappier detent, and they ran into the issue where it just adds way too much tension to the lock bar. It makes the lockup way later, and then it doesn't actually make the detent all that stronger. Like, look, I mean, this is good. So that's the other thing I need to say is the detent's fine, honestly. It's the late detent that is a little bit annoying, you know, that. So that's what I would try to change. I should have, you know, said that, sorry. But you can see why. You see the detent ball is right there. You have all that space between the lock bar and the detent ball. So this comes out, and the blade has to get all the way down there, and then it hits that ramp, which honestly, the ramp is not doing, I don't think it's doing much. It's not doing a good job. I'd rather just hit the ball right here, because at least at that point I'd be here. I'd be passing the detent right here. But no, because of the ramp, it's right here. So it ends up coming all the way down. That's the difference between disengaged. It would be past the detent right here, but it's not because of the ramp. So I would just get rid of the ramp and see how that does. So I don't know, but I love this thing. It's so good. Ergonomic, nice choily area there. You have a good Magna Cut blade, nice and sharp. Did we cut anything with this? Oh yeah. Nice and sharp, zigzags and everything. Yeah. This is a sweet knife, guys. I don't know what else to say, you know. Michael is one of those people that really appreciates feedback and acts on it, and, you know, when it makes sense. And so, you know, that's why I'm giving it, right? But all of that being said, this knife is phenomenal as is. I mean, you guys see the action on this thing. There's no play in any direction. It is a bank vault. The skiffs definitely help. I would, you know, I know it costs more, but if they could come with skiffs, that would be awesome. That's one thing that I love to see from American makers, because they have easy access to those bearings. You know, you just slap that onto the price tag. I'll pay the extra 13 bucks to get skiffs in my knife versus what was in here. Because with the pivot all the way down, it's a tank, and it's still got the same smooth action it had before. But it was fine the way it was. That's not really a thing. Centering's dead. I mean, the quality is phenomenal. And I've gotten used to this push button at this point that I actually really like it that way. Yeah, sick. So these are dropping on April 28th. This video may already be, it may be past that, or we'll see if I can get these up by then. But either way, if you're interested in this, definitely check it out on April 28th at American Blade Works. I will link them down below. Big shout out to Michael. I really appreciate him letting me check this out and pass it around. It feels, honestly, exactly how it felt out of the box. So I did tweak it, but then I just tweaked it back. If anything, it's slightly better. So I don't think I did any damage, which is good. Friday night gas station grip, you're in luck, especially in a reverse grip like this. So you'd be good to go, protecting your Slurpees. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm really happy with it. So I'm going to pass this guy around to some other channels. I'll get it moving. And I would love to hear your guys' feedback on it. And I hope you guys pick it up. You should support Michael, a man of the people, you know. And that's very important in this community. So made in the USA, baby. T7s. T7s. All right. Love y'all. I love you guys. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. And I will catch you later.